rapid response to buyers and sellers, okay? And what do I mean by rapid response to buyers and sellers? I mean communicating them as quickly as you can so that you have a great opportunity to convert them. The faster you can communicate with both a buyer or a seller on an inquiry, the higher your conversion rate goes. Okay? So like for instance, if someone, a lead comes in from any of my lead sources for a buyer, if I respond under 15 minutes, I have a great chance of conversion. If I wait 30 minutes to return the phone call, it starts diminishing. If I wait up to an hour, it's really diminishing. If I wait up to 2 to 3 hours, then I'm really going down to a tough conversion rate. And if I wait up to a day, they're probably not even thinking about real estate. Okay, so your return, the speed in which you can respond to somebody will determine if you can convert them into working with you faster. Okay? Does that make sense? I mean,
yes.
Yeah. So to be able to respond to somebody rather quickly in a lot of different platforms, and I want you to think about this, and you may not have a lot of leads just yet, but as soon as you get a listing or you have you start spending some money in marketing dollars, you're going to have opportunities coming to you, right? Because they're going to come to you. So you got to be able to respond to that as quickly as possible. So we're going to kind of go over the outline of some things here. And by the way, you should probably, as an agent, if you're not with a customer on an appointment and your phone rings, you should answer it. Early in your career, you should answer your phone all the time, because that can be an immediate response. All right, and that's what buyers and sellers are looking for. They don't pick up the phone to call you to leave you a message. They pick up the phone to get an answer. All right, so to set up your rapid response, you got to have some things in place, okay? For instance, we got to make sure the following items are in place on your home page in the MLS. Do you have that all set up? Do you have it set up with your banners? Do you have it set up to, if you set up a search for somebody, that their portal is going to look exactly the way you want it to look for them? All right. Do you have your MLS, public access link set up? And, that's where people can come to your portal and look at properties that you may have. And you know what? You might not even need this public access to your link, but maybe what you have is a link. Let's change this right here, because this is the old way we used to do it. What about if we put our link to our Boomtown page? Now, you don't have to be a Boomtown member to have a page in Boomtown, okay? And what I mean by that is everybody in our company gets their own web page on Boomtown, that if anybody goes there and looks up property, they register, that lead automatically comes to you, okay? So everybody got an email when they first come in the company that their Boomtown was set up, and here's their page. They should go in and access about their profile stuff, okay? So you can use that access versus this MLS public access link, okay? So I'll change that out here on my form a little later, but that's what I think we should like to do.
Kano?
Yes?
Where is the MLS homepage?
I'm talking about your MLS homepage. Like, for instance, you can set up your portal in the MLS so it looks a certain way for when customers are looking at properties. Like, you set up a search form, you send it to them, and they click on that link to go look at the page. There's information on that page that has your contact information, maybe your photo. That's the page that...
Before you do all that, I don't even know how to do that.
Okay, well that is through the MLS, and you know, it's part of it's probably in the advanced training. You guys just took the advanced training, correct?
I did not.
Gary? No, but Gary, you just did, didn't you?
Yes.
Did they show you guys how to customize the landing page for the consumer?
No.
Okay.
That wasn't part of it.
Out of all the classes that you've had, they haven't talked about any of that?
No, don't you agree, Sandy?
You know, they really didn't. I played around with mine to figure it out by myself.
All right. So, and to be honest, I haven't even played with mine, so I can't even tell you how we need to do that. So what I will do.
Sarah knows how to set up the headings.
Right. And that's for the reports that you send out. But what I'm talking about is like the landing page, and we'll have to. I'll have to dig into it a little bit better. Okay. So let me think about how we're going to approach that, and I'll check it all out. Okay. And then we'll figure out how to make that work. But the reason for that is you want to make sure all your branding is in place prior to customers coming at you from all different directions, right? Like, let's say you landed on a great marketing piece that drove 8 people to you per month. You want to be able to systematically do the same thing for everybody that comes in. So you want to have your marketing and your image stuff kind of up in place, and that's all I'm trying to do is get you prepared for that. So I'll have to check into the MLS and see how we can do these top 2 things, and then I'll come back and we'll do a quick little thing on that, or I'll call you guys individually and we'll get it done. Okay?
Thank you.
We want to save the language in these rapid responses. All right? So we're going to go over some quick emails to respond. Back in the day, I used to run ads on Craigslist, and it would say, free list of area foreclosures in Sarasota. And so people would click on that and fill out a form, and I would get a lead. I would say, free list of foreclosures with pools. Okay? And they would click on that, and I would get a lead. And so there, and you know, and that's just a Craigslist ad. But you could run an ad in a magazine that says, free list of area homes, free list of homes on the water, free list of golf course homes, free list of homes near the beach. So you can have all kinds of ads that generate an inquiry. And so when the inquiry comes in, how are you going to handle that? That's what we're going to kind of talk about today. How are you going to handle that? Okay. The other thing is I'm going to review some attachments with you guys. So you want to think about having these attachments ready to handle with these emails, because sometimes it's all about follow-up. All right, the universal callback script. I mention this all the time about what this universal callback script is. It's a one-page script that you should really master. And the reason why I say you can master, I mean, the simpler you can keep stuff that you're able to become an expert with it, the better your business will be. Simplicity and expert, if you kind of think of it like that. You also want to think about like meeting places that are available that you can meet customers. Our office is in Sarasota. The world is a mobile office, is very mobile now. So you need to have picked out like coffee shops, public places, like a small restaurant that doesn't like get so busy that you can go there and grab a soda and meet somebody there. Attorneys' offices, title companies like First International Title. We use their conference room all the time down here in Venice to meet with customers, or I'll even meet with a group of agents there. Okay? So you just got to go and get these things in place ahead of time. All right? And you can always meet people at the Venice Board of Realtors. Okay? So you may want to have like different meeting places that you can kind of talk to people. All right, so we want to think about things for a second, and part of this is a little bit of old school stuff, and part of this is a little bit of like now future stuff. So here's the step-by-step process. When a lead comes in, all right, I'm going to call them as soon as I can. I'm going to use the follow-up, the universal callback script. If you don't book an appointment, you don't have a client. All right, so we used to, before we work with any buyer or try to convert them, we tried to convert them to an appointment to talk with us. Now that's not all possible when a lot of our customers come from out of the area, okay? So we've had to modify things because of that. Hey, Sheila? Sheila, I just muted you.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go out of here.
Yeah, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, I will.
All right, I think I got her. Oh, I think she left. Anyway, you want to think about, you know, how you're going to go about working with these people. And so when you talk with them, we're going to put them in our top producer or our contact manager of choice. All right, we're going to send them out an email with some attachments to the, and again, that would be the public link, but what you're going to do is send them out to your portal, right? A link so that they come into your portal with that search. Okay, we're going to set them up a search in the MLS based on what they've requested the information. And remember, you can have, remember that you don't have a client until you book a face-to-face, all right? So I just want you to understand this, that if you're just sending property information to people and they're not signed up with you, they're not necessarily going to be loyal to you. They may just take the information and go buy their house with somebody else. So you eventually want to get if they're a local person, you eventually want to get them to a face-to-face. All right. You also want to, and if you can, you want to try to show them the buyer presentation. All right, so that you can get them familiar with your process of working, and so that you can show them. See, most people don't realize that agents can, even today, that agents can show you every single house on the marketplace, and you know, that is out there from all the real estate companies. They sometimes don't know that. Even in today's age, they think that they have to go directly to the agent that has it listed, or they have to go to each company to find out what they might have. And so that's why it's kind of important to educate them. So if we show them the buyer presentation, we then can ask them for some loyalty and a commitment. All right, so then we can get them to sign the buyer agreement. Now, whether I show them the buyer presentation or I don't, if I go out and show them property the first time and I don't have anything in place, and I might do that, let's just say I'm going to do that because I'm hungry and I don't have a ton of clients and I don't want to lose this client and I'm not that great in like converting them to an appointment to do a presentation, okay? If I'm not that good, but I'm good at converting them to go look at property, right? At the end of the day of looking at property, I'm going to say something to them like this. Listen, folks, I really enjoyed working with you today. I was wondering if you guys had a good time working with me and if you think that we can work together to help you find that home. I said the only thing I'm really looking forward to is loyalty from you. I'm willing to dedicate the rest of my time to find you what you're looking for, and I can show you every home by every single real estate company and look out for your best interest, not the interest of the seller, but your best interest. And that doesn't cost you a penny. What do you think? Do you think you and I can work together? Great. And now I pull out my VIP buyer agreement. And I say, listen, I'm gonna set you guys up as my VIP buyer. These are the things that I'm gonna do for you. This is our agreement, so we agree to work together. And by the way, here's a cancellation. If you're unhappy with my service, you can fire me at any time. I haven't had a customer fire me, but I'm letting you know you can fire me at any time. So how does that sound as an approach if I couldn't get them to an appointment? It would be perfect. You know, it would be a good way to do it. Now, if they say, no, I really don't want to sign anything, can I still work with them? Yes. But now I have a choice. Do I work with someone that's not under contract with me, or do I, and trust that they're going to be loyal to me, and know that I might miss out on a deal? Or I might get manipulated a little bit later on while I'm working with them because they feel like they have leverage over me. Right, Gary?
Yeah, surprisingly, I went back out and we looked at 2 more homes. I got a call the next day, and it wasn't a done deal yet. The guy's cheap and he wants to find a bargain. The wife loves the brand new home.
Nice. Well, the good news is you've met them halfway, and you probably made them very happy that you're be flexible with them. So and then we want to schedule, always schedule follow-up or disqualify a lead. So for instance, if you weren't able to convert to an appointment, or you're out showing property and they don't want to sign the buyer, then you have to make sure you always reschedule. You know, you put them in a future follow-up schedule, or you disqualify the lead. You got to get things off your plate so you can go get new stuff. All right? We don't chase bad leads. We just go create more. So that's kind of like the step-by-step process for the buyer. All right? And before we jump over to the seller, I want to now jump over to our universal callback script. All right? So this script was designed, okay, again, it's designed for having ads out in the marketplace and people are calling in. And my goal is to convert them to an appointment. All right? But if I can't convert them to an appointment, I might be able to convert them to a showing appointment. I might be able to convert them, you know, to talk in the future. So what I like about this script is it helps you establish motivation and timing. If I can establish motivation and timing for the buyer, I can better serve them. And that's why I love this script, because here it is. It's only got 6 questions in it. And then the box down here, this box, that's my unique selling proposition. All right, my unique selling proposition to offer them something. This is my brand promise. So the script kind of goes like this. Now remember, I got the lead. Let it be an email in requesting some information. They called, left a message requesting some information. However, I got the lead. I'm now calling them back to follow up. Okay, I didn't answer the phone. Now, if I answer the phone, I need to be ready for this, and I need to be able to convert directly into the script right on the phone. If they call and they say, hey, I'm such and such, and I'm calling about this, I have to be able to convert them over the phone right away. So that's why you got to master this. All right, so if I'm being proactive and I'm following up on the lead from a message or an email in, it's going to go something like this. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm sorry, is Mr. and Mrs. Smith there? Because that's what they gave you, right? Ask for them specifically. Yes, this is Mrs. Smith. And then you're going to say, hi, my name's Kano Keller. I'm an agent with White Sands Realty Group. And the reason for my call is because I got your request for information, and I wanted to let you know that I popped it into an email. I'm just showing you how old this is. Pop it into an email to you. Will that be okay? Now, I'm not really trying to solicit them quite yet. All right? I'm just confirming to them that I'm filling their request that they had left. Now, I might have to modify this based on the inquiry. Let's say they called on my Glen Oak property and they left me a message from a sign call. Okay? I could just say, hey, I'm calling you back. I received your request for some information on my listing over here on Glen Oak. I'd love to pop that into an email to you. What would your email be? And I'd love to get that out to you today. Would that be okay? And they might say, well, I don't want to give out my email. Can you just tell me about the property? Fine. And I'm going to go right into that. And by the way, if you ever have a direct property inquiry, I want you to think about straight lining it. And straight lining means focus on what their questions are so that you can eliminate that property. And you're probably thinking, take the property. 90% of the time when somebody calls in on a property, that property is not a good fit for them. They're calling to eliminate it. And if I did a good job as a real estate agent and I wrote an ad that had universal appeal because they couldn't eliminate it, then that's my job. And so when they call, they're calling to, because it sounds so good that they want to get some more information to see if they can eliminate it from their list. All right? Oh, I'm calling about this great home that is only $150,000 and it's in Venice Gardens. I didn't tell them the bedrooms, I didn't tell them the bathrooms, I didn't tell them anything. So I'm like, great, what would you like to know about this wonderful home? And then I'm going to straight line it. Great, what do you want to know about this wonderful home? Well, how much is it? Well, it's $154,000 today. What else would you like to know about the home? Well, how many bedrooms does it have? Well, it has 2 bedrooms, and it also has 1 bath. Oh, that's not going to work for me. I need 3 bedrooms. Bingo. That's what I'm looking for. Bingo. They just now eliminated the property. They just now fell in that 90 percentile of eliminating the property. Guess what they want to do right now? They want to get off the phone. They don't want to be there talking with you. They just eliminated the property. It's my job now to convert them. It's my job to try to hold on to them. Okay? So I might say something like this. I might say, hey, listen, I know that home doesn't sound like it's a good fit, but you know what? Do you have a few seconds to talk with me on the phone? I might have something else that might work for you. That's simple. If you got a few minutes, I might have something else that might work for you if I know a little bit more about what you're looking for. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions and see if I can help you? That's it. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions to see if I can help you? Now, some people are going to say, no, bye, click, hang up. Okay, next. But the person said, sure, this is what I'm looking for. And then they say, sure, great. And now I'm going to start asking my question. Are you folks planning on making a move here in the next 3 to 6 months? Now, I'm not talking about properties. I'm trying to determine their timing and motivation. Because you know what? If they're not looking until 6 months from now, every home I show them today will probably be sold by then. If they're looking a year out, every home I show them today is going to not be available. So if I find that they're under that 3 to 6 months range, now we're talking. Because I could write an offer this week and close it in 3 months. Okay? So my next step is first to determine when they want to move. Do you folks currently are you folks currently renting, or do you own your own home? Now I'm trying to determine, do they have a property that they need to sell before they can buy? All right. And so if they say, yeah, we own our own home, I can now, so you can see right here, if they own their own home, I have another question for them. If they own their own home, I said, would you prefer to buy before you list your home, or do you want to sell first? Now, I already know that 80% of the people in the marketplace, 80%, it's huge, need to sell to get their money out of their home to be able to buy something else. So I only have a small percentile. Now, we live in a blessed area that a lot of people have second homes down here, and a lot of people have the resources to buy houses without selling something else. We're blessed. So they may, so if they prefer to buy before listing, they're falling in that 20 percentile. So now we want to be able to articulate what we're going to do with them next. If they say that they would prefer to buy first, then we're going to stay on the buying side. If they tell you that you have to sell first, you'll notice. Sell first, I get to come over here, all right, if they need to sell first. But if they're not, I'm going to stay down this side. great. Are you folks planning on staying in the area, or are you planning on looking at other areas? And the reason I modified this, are you planning on staying in the area, or are you looking at other areas? A lot of people that look at us also look at Naples and further south and things like that. So I want to know, do I need to sell them on the community in which we live in and get them collectively here, or can I just focus on here because you know what? They made a decision, Venice, Sarasota, Bradenton, this is where they want to be. Okay. And then I asked them this question. If you were to move, when do you think that might be? Now that's a very specific question on timing, because now I'm picking their brain on what they think their moving timeline is. The first one was a general question of, are you thinking about moving in the next 3 to 6 months? But now I'm asking a very specific question to look into those kind of things. And so if they say they're moving in the next 3 to 6 months, I mean, now I know how hot of a customer that they can be. All right. And the last question might be, do you happen to have a realtor to help you when the time is right? Do you happen to have a realtor to help you when the time is right? Okay, great. And most of the time, and the way you ask this question is so important. And this is the question I think that you should have for any type of open house that you do. Anytime you're talking to a buyer, you should master this one question for yourself. Do you happen to have a realtor to help you when the time is right? Now, I didn't say, do you happen to know a realtor? Are you currently working with a realtor? I didn't ask anything. Do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right? You might have a realtor looking up property right now, but you're not buying from a year from now. Okay? A lot of people might say, well, I'm working with a lot of agents. They're sending me a bunch of different stuff. Well, again, it's how you ask the question to determine whether they're really working with somebody. All right, if they're a longer-term client, you can kind of say, hey, listen, why don't I send you out a link? You can do your own search, and I'll just stay in touch until we get a little closer to the properties. And then I send them a link to my personal site on Boomtown, and then they can set up and do their own searching, and I can monitor every time they come on, okay? Or I can at least provide them information in that direction. All right? So back to the example where I was talking to them on the phone, and so I need to know these questions so I can mix them in and out of our conversation. They don't have to go boom, 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 boom right down the line. I just need to make sure that I ask some of these things. All right, so to the person, again, that called in on a property, I now can, and I ask them, listen, you know, there's a lot of homes out there. You know, if you take a little bit of time with me right now, I can see if I might have another fit for you. Would you mind talking to me about what you're looking for? All right, I may bypass some of these questions just right now. And now I'm going directly into what they're looking for. All right, jumping all the way down here. All right, and one of the things I could tell them is say, listen, well, I got you on the phone. There's one thing that I can do for you. I would like to, I could email you daily updates of all the homes that match your home buying criteria from all the real estate companies. Of course, this list is going to include great foreclosure buys, corporate-owned properties, and other incredible deals. It's a free service, of course, that I provide, and there's never any obligation to buy a home. Would you be interested in talking with me about what you're looking for? All right. Yes, you had a question?
Yeah, I got a question. Do you think, is it better to, I know you said our goal with the universal script is to get an appointment, but I was thinking that it might be a waste of our time if that person's not even going to be able to pre-qualify either. So do you recommend getting a, you know, like traveling all the way down to Northport, sitting down and finding out that this person is not even going to be able to pre-qualify? Or do you recommend just, you know, starting that conversation and as a first step and saying, hey, I'd love to help you, you know, go look for homes, and but the first step is I'd like to have, you know, my mortgage partner call you and and make sure that we can get you pre-qualified so that when we do find that just right home, we're prepared to put in an offer or something like that.
That definitely could be put into the arsenal. But remember this, the appointment that you go on takes them through the whole pre-qualification process. If you've been to the actual buyer presentation that I recommend that you go and look at, okay, under showing property in our thing, go look at the buyer presentation and go through it. That's where that meeting is where you ask about all that pre-qualifying and all that stuff.
So then it would be
but
that would be kind of cutting the corner then to try to do that prematurely.
Right, but you know what? In today's technology age, I don't mind you cutting a little bit of corners. Okay, I really don't. You got to understand this training was from a gentleman. His name was Craig Proctor. This is Craig Proctor stuff right here. Craig Proctor worked for RE/MAX and was in the top 10 in RE/MAX in the world. Okay, for a decade straight, and now he's into selling seminars and teaching agents how to buy and sell real estate. He doesn't do much selling anymore. But he was from Ontario, okay, up in Canada, and his marketplace brought people into the office. It was more of a local market. We have a very transient market, meaning we're going to talk with people that aren't even here. They're in Ohio and they're calling here now, and we're so spread out. It's not like they're 10, 15 minutes away from the office. They could be a half an hour to an hour away from us. So we have to look at that and modify it. But what I want you to take away from this is the right language to use in the right different situations, if that makes sense.
Yep, thanks.
So, yeah, so you got to modify this a little bit. You have to modify it because, again, this is also before email and the MLS on the internet and everywhere. This is all before that, okay? So we have to modify a little bit, but the bones are good, and that's what I love about it. The bones are good. And so what we might want to do in this conversation, right, you might want to say something like this. First, listen, they call in, it's an inquiry on a property, and we go, and we get them to, we straight line it, we ask the question, they ask, what would you like to know about the property? Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Oh, okay, oh, that's not a good fit for me, I'm really looking for something different. Listen, if you don't mind, tell me if you got a little bit of time right now. If you tell me a little bit about what you're looking for, I might have something for you. Do you have some time to talk about that? And then they say, yeah, I could talk to you about that. Great. What is it that you might be looking for? Now, see, I'm going straight to my appointment down here. I'm going straight to here. I haven't even touched any of my questions here. I'm going straight to here to offer them something. If you got about 15 to 20 minutes, take down exactly what you're looking for, right? And again, this is designed to book an appointment, but I'm not going to go there and try to book an appointment yet. It's a phone lead. I'm going to do what you just said. I'm going to see if I can qualify them over the phone, right? I'm going to just say, and as I take down what they're looking for, I'm going to say, you know what, I don't have anything particular that matches exactly what your needs are in my inventory. But let me ask you this. Would you like for me to look up all the properties that are for sale from all the real estate companies that match your criteria that you just gave me? I can email that to you every single day so you get to the properties as they come on the market in real time. Do you think that might be of some benefit to you? And there's no obligation to buy anything, and I'll be happy to do that, if that works for you. And then when you get ready to go out and take a look at one of them, you just give me a call and I'll take you out and I'll show you whatever property you'd like to take a look at. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I'd love for you to put together a list. Wonderful. Why don't I do this? Why don't I take down exactly what you're looking for? What area of town are you looking for? Now I'm going to go in and now I'm building rapport and I'm taking down what they're looking for. I'm going to set them up on the search. And after I take down their information, I say, listen, I have a few questions that might help you a little bit better. How soon are you, If you were to move, when do you think that might be? Now, see, I'm coming back. I'm backdooring them now. I've already got them letting me give them a list. Now I'm going back and backfilling the information that I need to help them. So do you folks are you renting, or do you own a home now that you might need to sell? Would you prefer to buy first before you sell? Oh, no, we're just renting. We don't need to sell anything. Great. Boom. They're ready to go. Oh, are now here, this question's not here, but this question should be inside you. Are you folks going to be paying cash, or are you looking at some financial options? Financing options. Oh, we're going to financing. Wonderful. Have you spoken to a lender yet? No, you haven't? I have a great lender. Would you mind if I have them reach out to you and give you a call? They can actually pre-qualify you right over the phone. Takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, do you see how I can control that, Gary?
Yep, sounded great.
Yeah, so I want you to see that the script isn't designed for you to go word for word right down through the script. It's designed to keep you mentally attached to what you're trying to find and giving you some background for the language to support what you should be asking them for. Okay? And so that's basically how you use a universal callback script on that. And the same side goes for the sellers. All right? Are you folks, and you'll even notice this #1 question, are you folks planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months when you look right here? If you were to move, when do you, would you be staying in the area or moving out of the area? That's the same, question #2 is question #3 down over here. And when do you think that might be? Again, you're clarifying the date in their own mind when they think they would like to have it sold. Do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right? Would you prefer to buy before listing your home, or do you want to sell first? See, same question, but then in reverse a little bit. For longer-term prospects, would it be okay if I follow up with you at a later time and then get permission to follow up? Okay. So here's your seller's offer. Would you like for me to give you a free market evaluation to determine what your home would sell for? I also can give you some tips on what you can do and not do to sell your home for the most amount of money. All right, that can go. We can go over the various costs you're going to have that you'll incur when you go to sell your house, so you'll know exactly what you have left in your pocket after all the expenses. And it's free of charge. There's no obligation to do anything. You know, does this sound like this might be helpful? Wonderful. When would be a good time for us to get together? And so I just want you to understand the natural flow of things. All right. So I get this buyer inquiry. And I'm going back over to buyer inquiry. So now I have some opportunities to send them out some information. All right. So if the lead came in and I wasn't able to connect with them on the phone, right? I wasn't able to connect with them on the phone. I have several options. I can put them in my Boomtown, and I can use my Boomtown system if I'm a Boomtown participant, okay? If I'm not a Boomtown participant, it doesn't need to hold you back. This is the alternative to that, okay? This allows me to send out an email, okay? So a rapid response email, I could send this out to any buyer, all right, if I was able to get their email address. And most online leads give you an email address. I might say, hey, thank you for your recent request. I'm looking forward to speaking with you personally. In the meantime, I've attached a helpful resource called the 10 Deadly Mistakes Buyers Make. I put, hope this piece allows you to avoid some of the most common problems ultimately when getting into the home you want. I'll be following up with you soon to see what I can do to help you find the right home. Thank you. Have a great day. So I send out this nice little email to them, and in that email is this attachment. 10 deadly mistakes buyers make when purchasing a home. Now, I'm not telling them to do this. This is a flyer that I use. By the way, this is a great flyer to have at an open house. This could be one of your flyers that you have in your flyer bin that you give every person that walks through the open house. And I just want to kind of quickly go over this because we've got a lot to cover still. But it says, protect yourself in 10 commandment pitfalls. Mistake number 1, choosing a real estate agent who is not committed to you forming a strong business relationship. What is that telling them? That they need an agent that's got their back. Mistake number 2, making an offer on a home without being pre-qualified. What did you just talk about, Gary? Getting them pre-qualified. Boom, this hits them right over the head telling them that. Not knowing the total cost involved. They didn't get a good faith estimate. They didn't understand any of that stuff. This tells them to do that. Number 4, limiting your search to open houses and ads on the internet. I'm telling them that they're getting to the properties too slow. I can give them priority access to all the hot listings in the marketplace from all the real estate companies the instant they come on the market. That's powerful, right? So this is how we can avoid that. Mistake number 5, thinking that there is only one perfect home out there. That's not true. There's a lot of houses that could potentially fit their needs. Mistake number 6, not considering long-term needs, and that's talking about the older folks and things like that. Mistake number 7, not following through on due diligence. We talked about a few of those in lessons in class the other day. Mistake number 8, not having a home inspection. Mistake number 9, not examining insurance issues. Mistake number 10, not purchasing a home protection plan. Listen, you can get a home warranty on a property all the time. I highly recommend that, that someone does get a home warranty on a home. Not always, but I mean, recommend it. They're $450. They have a service fee and they'll fix the repair when it comes in. So this is a great little email, a great little flyer that I can send out to them. Okay. Vice versa, over on the listing side. Whoops. So the email, let's jump ship here and jump over to the seller. Let's say I'm running some ads in a local magazine and I'm putting some ads in the newspaper, and it just talks free home evaluation. And matter of fact, on every one of our open house signs that are straight arrows, it says, "What's your home worth? Call me today." All right. So let's say someone calls you and finds out, "What's your home worth?" Here's the inquiry. It was an email inquiry. 5 things to do before you sell your home. Hey, thank you for your recent inquiry. I really am looking forward to speaking with you personally. In the meantime, I've attached some helpful resources called the 5 things to do before you sell your home. It details some of the steps that you can take to make the process faster, easier, and less stressful. I'll be following up with you soon to see what I can do to help you prepare to help sell your current home and get you top dollar for it. Thank you very much. And so here's the flyer for that one. So putting your home on the market isn't as simple as a for sale sign in the front yard. 5 things to do before selling your home. Number 1, hire a real estate agent. Now, do you have to tell them to hire a real estate agent? Nope. Your flyer tells them to hire a real estate agent. Number 2, get your home inspected. Wait a second, I'm putting my house on the market. Well, if you get your home inspected, we can fix everything on the home prior to the home inspection that the buyer pays for. All right, so that's an option for them to really get the property ready. Number 3, make major repairs ahead of time. If they have the financial resources, they need to have the home completely ready to go to the marketplace, fixed up and ready to go. Step number 4, showcase your home. Make sure it has great curb appeal. Take down a lot of your personal items and make it more neutral so when people are looking at it, they can place their own stuff there. All right. Number 5, price it right. Pricing is huge. By the way, there's nothing that'll cure a house that won't sell than the right price. And then look what it says right here. Clean, clean, clean. Clean up the yard. Let there be light, getting plenty of natural light in there. Add a few little touches. All right. Here's some low-cost ways to update your home. This is another great flyer that you can have at your open house, okay, or wherever you're going out talking to things. Gary, you're looking to go out door knocking. Hey, this would be a great brochure to, you know, to hand out to different people. This could be a great follow-up piece, and that's what it's designed for, a great follow-up piece. So any questions on that so far? All right. So now what do? I made these initial contacts and I sent them this information. I could later on I can actually send other things. Thinking about selling or buying a home, this is a great opportunity for that as well, right here. And then here, working by referral. This is a form that another one of the flyers that I use all the time, working by referral. And then there's one last thing that I want to share with you today. Now, this is from my old company because I have to get it retyped. But this is just 9 different objections that you might run across during your course of doing business, and so, you know, how you might want to be able to handle them. And so I want to go over these, and then we'll conclude for today. But one is like working with another agent. If someone says, I'm working with another agent, I have another agent helping me, a friend, a relative. So my question is going to be, are you 100% committed to that agent? Or are you open to find out the difference between what agents do for you and what they charge? I mean, are you open to see what they can do? All I'm looking for is a real opportunity to compete. Let me show you what I can do, and you make an educated decision. All right, a big objection when you're talking to people and they're calling about a property, and they go, I find properties online myself. I go online and I get my information on the homes for sale. Most of the online websites offer properties that have been available on the market for several days and sometimes even weeks. What I'm proposing to you is to send you an email of all the best properties as soon as they come on the market. That way you can beat out every single buyer to the best new listings. Do you think you might reconsider talking to me about what you might be looking for? Okay. Another one is I already have an agent sending me properties. Okay. I like this one. I have an agent sending me properties. In addition to sending you my own listings and those of my company, I'm going to give you a daily list that will include properties from all the real estate companies, as well as any distressed sale, bank-owned, great corporate buys. It's absolutely free of charge. Are you sure you won't reconsider, you know, let me set up a, you know, setting up a search for you and you and I getting together? Can I give you my criteria over the phone? Remember, the thing was designed to book an appointment. So I've kind of modified away from that. I don't mind doing this, taking the information over the phone, all right? But because I think in our area, you got to have great phone skills to make that work. So this is just an objection to get them into the office versus having them try to do that over the phone. So I'm not going to go over that one. I need to speak to my spouse or check my schedule. All right, a little tip for that. Go ahead and make a tentative appointment with them anyway. And then they can cancel that appointment if they're not able to get the wife or spouse on board. All right, I need to speak. You know, that's just a scheduling thing. I'll get back with you. I'll get back with you. Why don't we do this? Why don't we set up a tentative time, and if we need to change it and it doesn't fit into your schedule, we can do that. Would you prefer, again, you're trying to set that appointment. I don't really know for sure what I'm looking for. You're going to run across, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for. I'm just starting out the process. I really don't know what I'm looking for yet. Well, what we'll do when we get together is go over everything that you may or may not feel is important in a home and what you're looking for to determine any areas or types of homes you may want to eliminate. You'll likely find that there are things that you never considered before that are important to you. And remember, it's absolutely free. There's never an obligation to buy. Would you prefer to get together during the day or at night? Okay. I don't want to sign anything. All right. So if you book an appointment or getting together, I don't want to sign anything. No problem. You don't have to sign anything. It's absolutely free. Don't even bring your checkbook. Would you prefer the days or evenings? And here's another one. I already know the value of my home. I already know the value of my home. Well, in addition to accurately determining your value, it's important that you are aware of the inexpensive tips that would further increase the value of your home. I can also go over a net sheet so you can determine exactly what you'll have left in your pocket after all the closing costs that you've incurred. So these are just some little tips that might help you when you're trying to handle some of those objections.